Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this part we'll be proceeding with our remaining part of the rigging. We have already covered eye and mouth rigging. So today we'll be proceeding with this face rigging, the movements of face in different axes. So we already have the warp deformer defined for this face. We'll just need to properly adjust it. So currently ignore the eyes and mouth other things. We'll be adjusting them as when needed. For now we'll have 3 positions for X. So let's start with that. I've already added the keyforms here. So let's start with the left movement. We'll just move it a little bit to the left and adjust it a little bit so that it should look like that I'm looking at left side. If I drag this here, and this, that looks a little bit that I'm looking at left side. The character is looking at left side. So I'll just adjust these parameters a little bit so that it will look a little bit more realistic. Let me adjust its position properly. Okay, now if you look at it properly, it looks like we're looking at left side. Distort it a little bit. I'll also be adjusting the individual parts so that they'll look good. But for now, let's just get the basic shapes done correctly. Okay, the basic shape looks good enough, and we can see the movement as well. Looks good enough. Now let's do the right part. Now let's check with the front hair. It looks good enough. Won't look as good as should as of now, but we'll be adjusting that, so you guys don't have to worry about that for now. Now let's start with the top and bottom movements. That's the neutral position. This should be down, so should look something here. Now that's hard because the midpoint is overlapping with this point, so we actually don't have that much hold over there. This center point, and just hover over there and just zoom in and drag it. That way it should be easier to do. So now that's the down movement. I'll drag this one as well a little bit down so that it should look good. Now let's do the up movement. This should be enough for the leverage. Let's stretch it like this. It will look good. Yep, that looks good enough for up and down movement. I think we should stretch these as well a little bit. Just for some reason it looks hideous. Okay, now let's combine these and do the up down movements for the right and left parts as well. So we should be able to just drag it same way that we did. We'll be fixing the eyes later on. For now, let's just focus on the movement of the head. That should be good enough for the right one. Let's do the left. Okay, so that's the up down left right. Now let's do the Z. Z is basically nodding, so if you just add a rotation deformer, similar to warp deformer, we have rotation deformers. You just add a rotation deformer here. Okay, should work. Now to this rotation deformer, let's add some keyframes, and we'll do about 10 degrees of rotation. Yeah, that looks good. Just drag it to the position you want and check. Yep, that's good enough movement. Let's do the same thing with the left side. Whatever. And that looks good enough. Yeah, looks good. Now let's check with the the parameters visible, whether it looks good, and it sure does. For here, I don't think we'll require that much fixing for the up, down, left, right. I think for left and right we need to fix the face a little bit. It looks really deformed. I'm not liking it that much. So let me try and fix it. For now that looks good enough for up, down and angle movements. So that was only for the head. Now let's start with the face, eyes and mouth. So for the eyes, for the left and right eyes, we'll be adding few basically the warp deformer, a separate warp deformer for everything related to eyes. And with that we should be able to directly work. Okay, I will need to fix this exercise as well. Oh, just one more thing to check before proceeding. We move the XY movement of the eyes. Is it hampering with this? No, it isn't for now, but let's see. We'll know once we get to it. Okay, before starting, there's one more concept that we need to implement here. Let's just go through it and I'll explain it accordingly. I'll go into it. So let me hide the hair and now the eyes as well. Okay, let it be. I'll keep the eyes as it is. Now we have this eyelid and we have face. Okay, I'll be editing the mesh of those both of them simultaneously. So here if you can see, the green one is the face and the red one is eyelid. We will be binding these, what we'll be doing is we'll be binding. What binding means is basically we'll be binding the vertices together so that the binded part of the vertices won't leave the other part. So here if I add some movement to eyes as well, it won't move from the edges if I add a binding there. So for now let's select all the edge vertices. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. We'll select the select tool and we will start selecting all the edges related vertices. I mean, there's no need for them to be overlapping, but they should be close enough. So that works. That works. We'll select this one as well. Just select using shift key, long pressing the shift key and dragging the mouse while clicking, left click. so that you won't miss any vertex that you want. And if you go over the already selected vertex, it will be deselected. So just keep that in mind that you're not missing any vertex. Because if you miss any, it will be distorting the whole thing. So just after selecting, just go through it once whether you have selected the vertices that you require for this to work, or just select them one by one. There is no need to rush. Need that one. Select this, these two. This binding is just for the precaution and for the smooth movement, but keep in mind that the binding won't always work, so you'll need to improvise where you can use it and where you can't. It is suggested that you align all the points that you want to bind properly, but it's not mandatory. It should work without that as well. So we are almost there. Let's just get it done. So now, just before proceeding with the binding itself, go through it once and check whether you have missed any vertices. Here I have missed 2. See? So just to be sure, it's better to go through it. Whether you have any vertices that you want, that you missed, or you might have selected some unwanted vertices which you don't want to bind, because it will get really messy if you do figure it out later on, and you'll need to redo all the work mostly. Okay, that looks good enough. Now here in this tool details menu, we have bind. So I'll click on bind. It did bind all these vertices and they are highlighted if you check them. So I'll just accept that and we can proceed. Now you can see they were already moving together, but when we are going to change these eye movements, they will get distorted. So these are binded. Now let's select only eyelid and both of these eyes. Go with the binding again. So now here we'll be binding the eye with the cavity of the eyelid so that it will move together with that. For that, we actually need this aligned with this one. I'll just deselect that one and I'll rearrange all these points here. So that we have some proper binding. Let's do one thing. Let's delete these vertices and add some fresh new vertices you can directly properly use, because this one is a crucial one and we don't want it to be messed up. Also like this pen and add some vertices. The grayed part that you see, it's basically the edge of the eyelid. Okay. And few more vertices here. Now let's just adjust the already ones that we have. Add a few more that we require. Okay, that looks good enough. So I'll just add a center vertex here. Yeah, and this we have the auto connect functionality here. If we click on that, it will automatically connect all the vertices to whatever points can be possible. So now that we have already mapped this one, let's select the eyelid. And now we'll proceed with the binding. So let's just select all the vertices and the vertices that are required, not all of them. Okay, let's just do one thing. We will drag some of these vertices which are far outside a little bit in, so that won't distort the image too much. Okay, now that we have selected all the vertices, we'll just bind. Oh, okay, my bad. Currently we have selected 3 vertices here. So sorry, the 3 art meshes. I'll need to select only 2 art meshes and then proceed with the binding. Only then it will work. So boys, don't make this mistake. Also, one more thing to keep in mind, don't bind the vertices which are already bound to any other part, because it might distort the whole structure of that part and it might look ugly, and it's pretty hard to come back from that. The recovery is pretty hard. So here we've binded the vertices. You can just cancel the selection and check whether they are binded properly, and it looks good enough. I'll just accept that. Now let's do the same thing with left eyeball. Here we should already have a lot of vertices properly aligned, but I'll just add few more to not have any distortions. I won't be adding too many vertices here, just enough to have it function properly. Let's just overlap them so that it will be easier to work with. It's on you whether you want to overlap or not. Let's add one more here. This one already looks overlapped. Fine. We'll add one more vertex here. One more here. Okay, now that looks good enough. I'll just auto connect and we'll proceed with the binding. Let's select the vertices that we want to bind. Okay, since we have selected all the vertices that we require here for binding, and that should be enough. Let's bind these two as well. Or not. Let it be. Okay, that should wait for the binding for the left eye. Okay, now just in case, let's just check the movements again, and it looks fine. Okay, now we will proceed with the eye movements for these angles so that it won't look ugly. Currently with these other angles as well, we have the up and down movement, so we'll need to adjust it properly. So like if you look here and check, it looks fine actually. Okay, that doesn't look good. Let me drag it up. Okay, now for the eye movements, let us select all eye related parts which we want to include in the deformer. So not eyelid, liner, eyelash, eye textures, side tear, six eyes should also be included. Should we? No, let's create a different warp deformer for that separately. I'll just create as eyes warp. Create. Now if you see here, we have the separate warp deformer inside face for the eyes. So it will already, it already follows that movement, but we'll be improving it a little bit more. So now we can add the keyforms here. And let's start with the movements. Now the eyes should look like that they're looking on the right side. So looks like that now. And we didn't have to adjust that much actually. It was already pretty much adjusted by itself with the face. But just slight adjustments do the job. Okay, I think we will need to. We messed up a little bit on the warp deformer, I guess, the binding of the warp deformer. So let me just select the right eyelid and right eye. Oh my bad. We need a bind here as well. So let me add a point. The eye first. Here we need a point. We'll auto connect it. And let's go to eyelid. We will move this point up a little bit. And we will bind it. Okay. Now let's go with the eye swap. Now it looks good. See that the distortion is gone. So you need to keep on doing these adjustments a little bit when you're working with it, because it is possible it might look ugly, so ugly that you just give up. Sometimes that also happens. So that looks good enough for eye movements. Let's check how a mouth looks. I don't think we will require anything more for mouth movements. Even the eyebrows, they look good enough to me with the angle Y, angle X and angle Y movements. But yeah, you can always refine it a little bit more. It's your fourth thing. So here it looks ugly. So we need to adjust it a little bit. The whole face swap. I'm just going to carry it down a little bit. Here. And the same goes for this one. For some reason I don't see that reflection anymore. Okay. Here it is showing, but not here. For some reason why. Not sure. Okay, now the movements are done. The angle movements are done for the head. I will just enable the top here, and we can just check how it looks. Looks good enough. Okay, now we can add a little bit of body movement. Let me just add a folder for this one. I'll name it as head and move it inside that one. Similarly, now let's do the same thing for body. So we have body X, Y, and Z. I don't think I'll be creating any movement for for Z axis. But for X and Y, we'll be creating some movements. So the keyforms are added. And let's move it across the x-axis. Let's disable that for now. Now it doesn't look that good, but when in the movements you will not notice that many deformities here. So that's it for the X movement. Let's add the Y movement. We'll be adding some basic jump movement here, nothing much. So we want it from 0 to some 1. 0 will be default. Here it should be 0. By default it will be 0, and we want a basic jump here. So what we'll do for body Y, For body wire, we will need to create with all the body parts. So let me just select everything. I will add the keyforms. Neutral position will be same. For this one we'll be moving it, so let's just move it a little bit. Alright, that's just some basic Y movement. We will have some foot and hand movements separately, so I won't be including them here. So now that's done with the body movements. Now we only have the basic movements remaining, the breathing and all those things, and yeah, the hair movements, these are also necessary. And hair rigging adds some liveliness to your character, so from my perspective it should be done, but it's on you whether you want to do it or not. So we already have front hair and back hair defined here, and we have the movements as well. So let's just separately rig them with 3 keyforms so that it will look a little bit good. I will add these deform paths so that it will be easier for me to adjust the movements. Adding these deform paths doesn't mean that you won't be able to properly adjust the position of each and every part of that particular body part. It just means that it gives you easier time with this. Okay. Now I made a folder for hair as well. And we will move all these 3 parameters inside the hair folder so that it will be easier to navigate. Now for the X movement, the front hair movement, for left side we'll be moving them a little bit to left. We will need these selected. So I did like that. Yeah. We will select these forms and we will rotate and move them. Now let's adjust it so that it will look good. Let's do the same thing with this one. Rotate it so that it will look good. Move, rotate, and yeah, you can anyway individually adjust them. So that's good enough movement. Let's do the same thing with this one. Let's rotate this. Move it to the desired position. And adjust it a little bit so that it will look good. Yep, that looks good enough. Let's do the same, not same, but similar thing with this one. Won't be moving it that much. I'll just adjust that one. And now comes this one. That looks good enough. Okay, now let's go with the right movement. Okay, for front hair this looks good enough. Now for this side here, let me hide the front hair, and side hair means we'll be doing the back hair, and this means we'll be doing this bang. So where did that hair go? Okay, yeah. The front hair is done. We just need to do the back hair now. Okay, let's do the back like this, and then we'll just rename this one for the bang. It will also have 3 parameters, and I will add a deform path here so that we will have some control over these bangs. That looks good. So now for the left movement, we'll just do a little bit of this. Let me adjust that. Okay, that's good enough for that side. Now for this side, okay, that looks good. Let's do the opposite thing for the right side. Same on this side. That looks good enough. Now let me edit this parameter and remove bang. And do we have a separate? I don't think so. We'll just need to add that same part and adjust the parameter by ourselves. So rather than doing it like this, let me add a separate deform path for this one. You can add as many deform paths as you want, it's on you. but just a look out whether it's not messing anything else up. It's adjusting that one as well, which it shouldn't. So let me pull it out so that it won't look bad. The down movement. Let me pull this out. That's good enough. I should have kept this separate, but yeah, it's my honest mistake. Can't do anything about that now. Okay. Oh, I forgot to check this one with the head movement. Is it moving? No, it's not correctly moving. Okay. Let's just add a separate keyforms for this one and adjust it, because it shouldn't look like that. Let us adjust this one properly, because currently it looks hideous. This one is a little bit better, but we can always adjust it, There is always room for adjustment. This one is fine. This one. Not a little bit too much. It should be good enough. Okay, now the last one. I don't think whether we'll be even using this gesture, but what's the harm? Okay. With this, we have all these movements properly defined for this as well. Oh, missed it. Yep, that looks good enough. So now with this head and hair are also done. Let me enable this front hair. Now we only have this eyebrows movement. Those are simple ones. I'll just select both of them, or we can just do it individually as well for each eyebrow. Let's do that. The Y movement for left eyebrow should be down here, then the middle, then the upper one. This should be good enough. Let's do the same for the right eyebrow. That's good enough. The middle position. And now the down position. Okay, that's all for the Y movement. Let's go with the X movement for left eyebrow. Should be a little bit here. The next should be a little bit there. That's good enough. Same for right one. Here. Oh. Back up a little bit. So that's it. Let's combine these. Now let's just complete these movements. Okay, that looks good enough. Let's do the same thing for eyebrow, right eyebrow. Way too far. Okay, with this we have left and right movements for eyebrows also defined. Now let's just define their angle. So yeah, it is advised that we should only assign 3 parameters per object or per part, but yeah, if you have the license you can always add it. It's not like it's mandatory to add only 3. It's on you how many you want to add. The angle is pretty simple. Let's do the same thing for the right one. And we should be done with the eyebrows. Yep. So that should be it for the eyebrows. Let's add a folder for eyebrows as well, because we have a lot of parameters. Eyebrows only we have like 6 parameters here. I won't be adding any form parameter for the eyebrows because I think these are good enough. So this cheek is basically a blush. We already have this blush. I'm not sure why it's not visible. Let me drag it out. Okay. Seems it is hidden somewhere. Yes, we're back. Okay, it should be above eyelid. So we need to put this blush above eye. Yeah. Now it's visible. Same goes for tears actually. Is not okay. I hid those, that's why they were not visible. They are moving with the head movement properly, it should be fine. We'll hide them again. And let's work with the blush. Where did it go? Yeah, this one. So this blush, I will edit this parameter. Blush default will be 0. 0 means hidden. So we only want hidden and visible. So for this, when it is zero, we want its opacity to be 0, and I'll apply that. So once it is 100, it will show, otherwise it will disappear. Right? Works fine. So now let me just delete these two parameters. We'll just add few more that we require. So now we only have the few movements remaining. I don't think I'll be adding any hand movements for this character as of now. I'll add it later on if I want. So for now we only have the hair remaining. The cat ears and tail, the breath movement. So for now let's add the tail. So we'll be adding a new parameter. I'll name it as tail, and let's keep its value from 0 minus 30 plus 30, and default will be 0, and you can keep it minus 1 and 1, it's fine. So let's select the tail, add the parameters. This position, that's the left one. So we won't be doing anything in that sense. We can just reflect it actually. So if we, okay, it's not working that way. We will need some base point at least. So let me hide my character completely so that it will be easier for me to press it off. Okay. We just need to flip the position anyway, right? So let's see if we have any way where we can flip this directly. uh, but if I do this, yeah, it reflects itself. So for a 0th position, I'll just do it like this. Right, now let me just enable all these parts again, and we can see now the tail is wagging. Yeah, that's good enough. Now in head, I'll just add one more parameter for ears. And we'll be just wagging those ears, nothing else. So for ear and for ear 2, here we'll add 3 keyforms. For the left side, let's just do one thing. I'll just add a warp deformer for this one. It should prove easier to work with this way. Let me just remove those parameters and warp deformer. Then I'll add the keyforms. Now we can start adjusting the ears. Same but the opposite way. Let's just reflect it. Reflect motion, reflect horizontally. Yeah, that looks good enough. Now we're done with the tail as well. So mainly we're done with almost all the parameters that we want. I'll just add one more detail for the breadth. For breadth, I'll just add parameter of 2, and for position 1, I'll just increase the height a little bit and do it like this. Now let's see. Yeah, looks good enough. Okay, so with this we are almost done with all of our rigging. Almost all of our parameters are done, and all the motions, basic motions that we require are done. Now the next comes is checking the physics. You can just go to the modeling tab, and from there open the physics, scene and bleeding settings. With this we can observe our movements properly. So if I just turn this on, okay, Okay, as you can see, I messed up the blinking movement now. See, I forgot to do that. So here in the blinking, what we need to do is, we already we have already binded the eyeball and the eye cavity, but currently with the blinking only the eye cavity is moving and somehow it is not properly being forced for the eyeball, so we'll need to adjust that. Let's do that. So basically we'll just need to add these eye open, eye close movements for the eyeballs as well. Now where did the eyeball go? Yeah. So left eyeball with the left eye. I'll add the parameter, the keyform, and for the open it's fine, but for the close, oh okay, my bad. That's why it was weird. Let's add for the right one as well simultaneously. We can just work on them. So at the close moment, we want the eyeball closed as well. So what I'll do, I'll just collapse this one. For better visibility, I should be doing this. So let me just drag it down. Shouldn't have selected the eyelid. Now where the hell did it go? Yeah. Let's just drag them down and then see if we see any issues. None at all. Looks good. Let's do the same thing with right eye. We'll just have to close this as much as we can. We don't want to mess up anything there. So these are the kinds of consequences that we face when we are binding few parts together. So you just need to, accommodate that properly so that you won't have any distortions in your model itself. Okay. Now move it down a little bit more. You know what? This should be good enough. I don't think we can improve it any further than this. Let's just check if we see any stray movement. I don't think we can do anything about that. Yeah, looks good. No, not good. Okay, still looks a little bit bad, but let's try and improve it. We'll just drag everything in this panel. Let's move these as well and look ugly. Our intent is to hide as many imperfections as we can. But we should move a little bit to the top. Okay, let's go up. That should do it for that one. Now the final one. I think that it's the blue. Yep, I think that's all we need to do. It doesn't look bad anymore. And we have the eye open and close as well. So let's save and open the physics again. And let's hit play. Okay, sorry. Let's enable the as well. Oh man, I forgot adding the X size. Let's add in the parameter for X size as well. We will only need it from 0 to 1, so no need to add that much complexity in the parameters. Okay, where did it go? Okay, this X size. Let's add a parameter, but I'll be adding a parameter at 0.1. The key form, sorry. Here I have here I want the opacity to be 0. Here I want it to be 100. Here also I want it to be 100, so that we won't have the gradual change and rather the drastic change here while opening the eye, so that it won't look ugly. We just want 0 to 1 directly. Okay. Currently it still looks a little bit, fading away. I'll be adjusting that value again. Let's see. Here is pointed, right? Let's drag it down. 0.5, that's 0.05, that's all we can do. Okay. Now then, for the physics part, we'll be addressing that in next video, but for now I'll just show you some random poses. We are ready to add some physics for the hair. That's why it looks a little bit weird currently. So that's it for this video. We'll be proceeding with the physics part in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.